So, we're over here at Jess's shop because I was buying some more shulkers. I have like a respectable amount now, guys. It's amazing. But yeah, she's restocked her diamond ore. And I'm wondering, I have enough that I kind of feel like taking my chances here. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and buy. You know what? No, we'll buy 3. We'll buy 3, and then we will keep buying so long as we keep, getting more. Theoretically, I should come out slightly on top here. Be an average of 2.2 or something like that. Jess, your diamonds are massively unlucky. Hey yo, it's Lyarrah, and you joined me today to an incredibly rare sight. I'm alone on the server. There's no one else on, not even a camera account or AFK account, nothing. It is all quiet. I'm alone with the sounds of me and the ghasts and the souls coming at it. Oh my god. I just soul speak. The souls are coming out of the souls of my feet. I didn't plan that one. Like usually, if I'm gonna make a dumb pun, then I plan it. But yeah, no, that was not one of those. Anyway, yeah, that I'm alone. I can't decide if this is the best or the worst time to do this, because it would be nice to have somebody else taking up some of the mob cap. But we might as well go give this a shot if I can fly. You would think I'd be able to fly with no one on. You know, this is basically exactly what ender pearls are for. Why are there... Okay. And we get an endermite, of course. Oh, that was one mess after another. Oh yeah, I figure that this is like the perfect time to go ahead and be running around up here measuring some stuff out, because this top layer here should, at this point right here, have a bar going the whole way across. Like, this is just gonna go the entire place. Yes, I know, you're such cute little creatures. You're such cute little creatures. I love you so much. I love your dumb little dino noises. It's so cute. Yeah, I figured this is probably a good way to go about this, to kind of start marking out where all this is meant to go along the way. I'm not even 3 minutes into this recording and it's already been derailed to talk to cute animals. Why am I like this? Now, I'm not going to worry too much about just wasting Can we... Okay, I know I'm trying to say that I'm not going to worry too much about wasting material, but can we not just, like, waste all of it on me? Yeah, andesite's not exactly a rare or rich material, so I'm not too hung up on trying to make sure that I don't waste any of it. But that said, yeah, no, that right there was a mess just now. Since the whole top is supposed to be diagonal like this, And, you know, it's supposed to be the andesite slabs. And coincidentally, I genuinely, when I designed this, because I designed it like in a vacuum of a creative world. In fact, I will probably take you to that creative world later this episode, once the top of it's no longer spoilers. Yeah, I designed it in that vacuum. So I had no realization that we were going at literally the top of the lava lake level. But I kind of love that, because we're going to get this super narrow band of being able to see out into the sky past the lava. And I really like that idea. I think it's a good plan. Oh, hey, would you look at that? It's our vine. Now, this is one of those places where I'm really glad for how this tunnel got marked out, because every single coordinate along the center of this tunnel adds up to 200. So we're on 282, negative 82. Guess what? That's 200. If I get one block off, oh, suddenly we add up to 199. Suddenly we add up to 199 for a different reason. Yeah, so if I get off path, it gives me a really easy way to check to see how to get back onto it. Going through and marking this out ahead of time will mean that I can kind of go along the tunnel and figure out where it has lava over it and where it doesn't. So that I can mark down those coordinates, kind of get it prepared ahead of time. And that should make it a lot easier to do that. Did he really... He really just said this whole part of the tunnel's mine, didn't he? I'm gonna kill him. But hey, prime example of how I can make sure that I'm still on path by making sure that I'm still adding up to 200. Look, hey, look, it's 300 by negative 100. That equals out to 200 again. Also, that's a spot where a beacon's going. He even gets a beacon right on his, oh my god. Of course he does. Of course he'd accidentally plop himself down in a place that fancy. So anyway, what I was trying to say, but I keep getting distracted. Wait, I just said I'm trying not to get distracted. You go away. You go frolic with your family. Is that, this is going to be a good way for me to check what sections are fine to have the normal ceiling and what sections should probably have a glass ceiling because of lava. Now, one thing I haven't decided is whether we're going to do it as like strict bars or as patchwork. So in other words, do we want to set it up so that in between any two given ribs, it has to be all glass or all wart? Or do we want to let it be a mix and match depending on, depending on what makes sense for the area? Now, personally, I would love to have it be that each rib has to be entirely that. But I know that that may not be realistic. So, you know, and if we do that, then it's more likely that we'll be faking lava sections than that we'll be faking wart sections, just because I'd like as much of this to have lava on top as possible. Yes, I did genuinely consider the possibility of just like letting the whole thing be lava. That came to mind. I decided against it, but you need to know that the temptation was there and it was considered. So I think the plan is for me to grab some of the materials from the box over here. Sigh, because that's still right in the middle of the path, and well, let's stop dilly-dallying. Let's let it y'all see what this place is actually gonna look like. And there we have it. First section of the roof is done. And it looks even cooler in the Nether than it did when I was making it in my test world. Because, yeah, the fog kicks in and it's kind of mysterious and everything. I love it so much. Oh, I'm so happy with it. Now, you can see why I've been saying that this is an incredibly expensive design with everything that it's made out of there. And yeah, it's just kind of a thing. Ugh. I knew what I was getting into though. Like I knew what I would sign myself up for. I knew what I was doing with it. And I had to go for it. I had to go for it. And if you know the others don't have a farm for the stuff soon, I will figure it out myself. Though fortunately the supply that I've got should keep me busy for like 6 or 7 hours at least, I think. The one thing that I haven't decided on this is how I feel about the double layer down here, because it definitely doesn't line up with the pattern right. I'm thinking I may put in lights like I've got there on that layer, but like that adds another 14 shroom lights per section, and that's a lot more. Like that's a full another third to the costs on it as far as the shroom lights go. And yeah, that's a bit of a mess. I had also been considering maybe putting magma blocks up there. Oh, what do you folks think about? Like, how do you feel about the way that is? Should I put the lights on there? Is it good as is? What do we want to do with it? What do we want to do with it? Also, I just realized what the other thing this is missing right now is. Oh, I missed. I really thought I could pull that off. This is, of course, probably the most regrettable part of this entire endeavor. I know, with everything else here, you would think, like, wait, how could this possibly be it? And it's because these tiny little hitboxes drive me nuts. Like, absolutely cause me so many problems. My dude, what? What? How dare you, first of all? Like, why couldn't have just coped and decided to join up to there instead? And yes, I know those are at 2 different heights. I plan on having these kind of strung up at random heights throughout the place. Should be cool. Should be neat. In retrospect, I'm half wondering if I shouldn't have had the beacons line up with the centers instead of with the ribs, but it is what it is. We're too late. It is what it is now. No turning back. But yeah, so I'm feeling really accomplished about this. I'm quite happy that I've got that section of the ceiling done. Now just 107 more to go? Yep, something about like that. In all honesty, I've had enough pillaring up for the moment. So I think I'm going to go ahead and work on some more of the floors and the everything else. I will fully say that to my surprise, this was a lot easier to assemble in survival than it was in creative because there's already blocks up there for me to press this against. I don't have to care what the outside of it looks like for the most part. It's just, you know, it's just the inside here that matters, and there's blocks above it that I can press it into. So that really worked out in my favor. But just the same, yeah, I think that I'm going to spend some time getting some more wall sections done. There's still floor that both needs repaired. Where's that spot? Yeah. Like there's floor that needs repaired, and there's floor that just flat needs done still. So we're gonna go do that stuff for a while. Okay, so I know I said that my break from the ceiling was going to be to go and work on the walls and the floor, but I lied. I mean, only kind of, because I did also go work on the walls and the floor. But, yeah, I am back over here at the villagers, where unfortunately I have a bunch more fishermen. That is not what I was going for. But apparently they'd been fed and just needed more beds put down to reproduce more. So that's a thing. And we're gonna have to grab out a few more beds again, I think. We're just kind of going nuts on the beds. Yeah, my patrons told me about, and then, uh-oh. Are we at 4 now? I think we're at 4 golems. Either that or that's the 3rd. Yeah, we're at 4 golems. Cool. We've just passed the 40 villager mark, that means. Yeah, anyway, my patrons told me about, and then Silent has since confirmed for me, that there is a way to force villagers to actually, like, pay attention to their workstation and everything. And, yeah, what we want to do with that information is move on from this group setup the way that we've got it here, where everybody's stuffed into individual or like group ones, and move them instead into smaller stalls. And the only reason I want to do that is so that I have more control over the spacing of them, because I'm still kind of thinking I might turn this into an iron farm. No matter what, though, I want us to go ahead and kind of pretty this up and move on with it and everything. So I think we're going to shift this into a slightly different area of the spikes. We haven't, you know, torn down much of any of the spikes yet anyway, and we are going to try to avoid doing so. So we'll pick out another spot around here, maybe like right up here, or maybe back over this way a bit. Like this has like one natural wall, so that's even pretty promising. Ooh, or even this, although the struggle here is wanting to have it be, like, how much do I want to do the natural structures and how much do I want to be building our own thing here? Because this is like incredibly fortified right here to begin with. Like it's got its own things around it. There's very little that has to be, you know, filled in to be fortified. Versus like right over here is a big open empty space. And if we don't want it to be fortified, that might be the better spot. But when we first put this whole place together, we had been intending for it all to be inside of one chunk. And this one wound up inside of that chunk. But then this side that I came back and found Zoe had built was in the next chunk over. And this side we built into this chunk originally, but then moved into that chunk to create more room. And given that we now know that when Idiot over here pops up to give the discounts, yes you sir, then it's a 16, I want to call it a radius still, but it's cuboid. Basically, it's a cube with 33. If I remember, I'll go ahead and link Silent's video where he explains about all of it. Yeah, we were talking to him while he was working it all out, and it's a big space. So technically, we can have like a blank space in the center, and then have the villagers on the sides, and have them still be in individual chunks where they're not going to be able to move across borders. And even if I decide to leave them loose like this, then they'll be fine. But that's all kind of getting ahead of myself here. Because at this exact moment, we are not worried about... God, there's so many of them. So I had to sit not prepared. Like, I looked over here, I'm like, oh no. Oh no, there's so very many. Meanwhile, these guys that I actually wanted to reproduce... Like, I guess it doesn't matter which ones reproduce, because I can go ahead and drag them into a new spot regardless. But I want more farmers. So I may have to cart these little guys off over into there to make more farmers that way. Don't you compost at me. Anyway, ramble, ramble, ramble. The reason why I want more farmers is because you're not the right one. You're also not the right one. There we go. This trade right here. And I may not eat much in the way of golden carrots, but right now, last I checked, we still only have one food shop over in the shopping district. And I kind of feel like we should be giving them some competition. Especially because last few times I've been over here, it's like not quite given us the correct amount. Well, I looked out, but Zoe immediately after me did not. Oh, hi Taz. I mean, I guess there is also, you know, fish for sale, but it's... What? Okay, well, there's not... Oh. Yeah, see, there's not much being sold at all. Come on, guys. This is disgraceful. Yeah, so there's not that. I know we've got multiple people on Mushroom Islands this season, so I'm sure we'll see some steak places pop up eventually, but I don't see them yet. So I think right now they're still at kind of the feeding themselves stage in the whole thing. And I ah, I think I just want to get a bunch of farmers and like make a little food stand somewhere because why not? And also because my poor wool shop isn't as flashy as this one. I don't know if his has been getting, like, he still actually has a thing operating too, so it stands to reason that he would, you know, have. Oh, I haven't seen a trap chest in so long. Um, yeah, it stands to reason he'd probably be more likely to get business because of that, but it looks like he hasn't had any business either, so people just got their own wool farms going for blasting. So since I was going to spend the next little while editing the time-lapse and everything up in this episode up till now, I figured why not come chill over here. We'll go ahead and sit at the double spawner and... Still no kids, huh? That's fair. And we're gonna go sit at the double spawner because we're out of string and low on rotten flesh. And I just remembered that I promised to make a sugarcane farm also. Speaking of farms though, before I forget, I was kind of wondering if I should go ahead and make any more tutorials this season. So basically last season I made this incredibly easy sea pickle farm. It's one of those things where, yeah, it's not the most lossless thing on the planet, it's not the most efficient, but it works, and it's only takes a few minutes to put together even if you don't know what you're doing, redstone. And you know, just overall it's very beginner friendly. I don't know, it obeys KISS standards, you know. Keep it simple, stupid. Uh which is kind of how I operate redstone, as you might have noticed. Like last episode I showed my weird little excuse for a flower farm and for another wort farm and stuff like that. And they're super simple, they're super easy, they're just, you know, the most basic operation of the principle to do it, which is also how I'm going to be doing the sugarcane farm, is just the most basic. Here is pistons, here is thing going underneath. Maybe I'll put, I mean, I was about to say maybe I'll go ahead and put bone meal, and then I remembered, oh yeah, we've got this thing that's all I put together over here, which is exactly that. Does it even have, yeah, it's out of bone meal, but it's just, you know, bone meal smack over and over again type of deal. But because that's kind of my principle when it comes to building farms, I was wondering if that's something that would be of interest to more people who are watching me this season. If you would like some more, you know, these really basic farms where I kind of dwell a lot on the concepts that go into them, at least as far as how I understand them. Because, like, I mean, I'm someone with like half each of an architecture degree and a physics degree, but you put programming in front of me and I'm just going to stare at you blankly. It's just not my forte. But some of the stuff, like some of the cause and effect that goes into redstone, makes a lot of sense. Some of the concepts of like the on and off, like you saw the stuff in here. The, you know, turning on and off as far as the redstone torch tower and everything, because flip, and now that one's off, so now the one above it can turn on, and that one turns the one above it, yeah, so on and so forth. I'm going around in circles, I'm repeating myself. Do y'all want some more Can I not have my head inside the spider? Do y'all want some more tutorials and stuff? Like, or is it stuff that you can work out how to do it from my episodes, or even just that you're already doing stuff that's more complicated than what I'm doing in my episodes anyway, so it's not of any use to you. I don't know what level of redstoneage my audience is at overall, in all honesty. But it's an option that I want to put out there in case that is something that people are looking at. I've hit one of those sections that no matter how much I flail around, I'm still just winding up like, you know, back into more lava. So, it's time we do things the old-fashioned way. Although I don't know since when literally climbing up through lava counts as old-fashioned, but, okay. So the plan here was that the next section... Hello? Can I stand on here? Thank you. Wow, it is so much slower to move through lava. Like, we need, like, Frostwalker, but for lava. Yeah. This is one of those sections that, like, low-key kind of want to do... Oh, I'm suffocating. I forgot. You can stop breathing in lava. That's a thing that can happen in the game now. Minecraft, why you do this to me? Okay. 222. Let's see. 83322. Yeah. And this, fam, is one of those moments that we call leaving the camera rolling just in case something stupid happens so that you can all laugh at me afterwards. Why? I was about to say, why can't I breathe in lava? But, like, when I put it that way, it's a stupid question. It's kind of a stupid question regardless, but I mean, like, if I put it that way, it's really a stupid question. At least I get the satisfaction of knowing that all of these, all these endermen are getting damaged by this too. Hey, there's an ender pearl just laying there. Also, I would not be trusting myself to do this without a totem, because, that's the only reason that I've got the concentration to do it. Really, I should just have the fort up here and be filling this in as I go. For, like, minimal long-term frustration. I would like to just go on record as saying that this has been, like, maximum worst-case scenario in terms of having to go ahead and place blocks for this. Oh my gosh. Like, nothing was going right there, and it's not even a section that I can be like, proof of concept lava time! Yay! Just bad. Just real bad. But at least my potion effect didn't run out at a worst possible time. She says, knowing full well that this isn't over and the worst possible time could still happen. See, there goes the potion effect. You ever just, like, looked at a clock and felt your whole life flashing before your eyes? Not in a, like, when did I get this old way, but in a, oh, dang it. Oh, it's at that time already. Wait, cause, yeah. I just, had a major episode of that, wherein I was fiddling with editing this episode and chilling with the villagers, and I looked at the time and I was like, oh no, stream day starts in like 2 hours. And, overall, we try pretty hard to be polite and not... I just realized there's a guardian farm under said that. I think that must be Jesse's. Overall, we try our best to be polite and not be putting out episodes during other people's stream day stuff. But I didn't want this to be spoiled by the stream day. So I wanted to make sure that I got it out before then. And that means wanting to have enough of this done to, you know, be presentable right up here in front. So that's why I am over here quickly throwing lava into the last couple of these that need it. And, did I not? I'm pretty sure I did put the thing on the back. See, I already can't remember what I did and didn't do. Because I mean, actually this episode's all been recorded within like 24 hours time. So I don't know why I'm being this spacey. But, yeah, lava, 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 lava. We're gonna have a real pretty thumbnail out of all that. And I'm happy. We're off to a really good start here. I'm feeling proud. I'm also, oops, hi there. I'm also feeling like this is not enough to leave y'all with. So we're gonna pop over into creative now that you've seen that. And I'm gonna show you kind of what the idea was here. Okay, family, welcome to the first edition. This was the initial draft of how I wanted to build things. I wasn't very happy with how the struts came out there. I did kind of like the more graduated curve on the top a little bit better, but I think that it kind of lost more of the archway. And then also, this was originally built before the Nether update actually came out, hence the walls being what they are and everything. The blackstone was added afterwards, but yeah, since I don't even have soul soil. Then we ran around, we did draft checking to see what materials looked good together. I was testing whether I wanted to do just like smooth quartz versus the regular quartz. This is also how I figured out that my texture pack was breaking textures originally there. And that evolved into playing with this, which I don't know. I don't like the smooth quartz as well for these. It just makes everything else stick out too far. I played with this because for a while we were going, okay, well, we've got the cyan materials and we've got the magenta materials. Which do we want to have be the dominant? Which one do we want to have be the back to it? We decided that the strip stems were way too plain. And that while we obviously have, you know, like 20 guardian farms on the server, like, come on, guys. No, I think it's like 4, but still. We decided that we wanted to lean more into the nether materials. So the prismarine was a no-go. We decided that it was going to be the red nether brick real early in the process for it, and eventually nailed down doing what I hadn't even realized was a gradient until somebody pointed it out in my comment section. So our floor is a gradient of white to gray to black. Very, very rapid gradient, mind you. But then the wall goes through the regular red, up into the purpley red, up into the purple, and then finally into the teal for the ceiling. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. Then we played around with commands and got the whole thing copy-pasted. Originally just the floor, so I could show that off when we hadn't solidified the sides yet. And then, although it did mess up at a corner along the way here, I managed to copy a whole corridor worth of it here. And I'm pretty proud of how that turned out. I did mess up that part, but don't pay attention to that. Obviously, oh, that's right. I forgot that I even recently used commands to go ahead and replace that side. Because it was still the other material, yeah, the prismarine and everything. But you can see how this got copied over. Took some doing, some getting used to on it, but I did it. And I love how this looks. I just absolutely love how this looks. And you get 2 different effects of it. You got the effect running along the floor here where you get to see the lanterns still. Or if you're flying up here, although you gotta not run into the chains, it's just like, I don't know, I love the colors whizzing by. There's just a lot of random little things to it that I'm really enjoying and that I'm really happy that I came up with. Yeah. So hopefully seeing this at a larger scale kind of gives you more of an idea of how this is going to go down, what it's going to look like before we are done here. And hopefully you're as excited about this as I am, because goodness gracious, I am really excited. Oh yeah, I promised I'd show you what happens with the boats. I'm sure it's partially just because I'm bad at this, but immediately, and even without these last panes there. So of course, hopefully this will be spawn proof. Obviously this version didn't have the lights underneath like we do now. So it's been a big help having those lights involved in everything. And you know, that should be mostly spawn proof. If not, I guess we're gonna go crazy with buttons down the way. I don't know. Guys, why does spawning have to be so weird in the Nether? Seriously. But enough distressed whining from me. We have much to be excited with on this, both because this is an awesome project and because of it being stream day. So yeah, I'm gonna go get this thing rendering. The only other thing I want to tell you guys about first is we are going to, I don't think we're gonna have them everyone, but we are gonna have banners along the way that tell where, like, hey, this direction's towards spawn, hey, this direction's away from it. And I was hoping that y'all might have some ideas for designs for like arrows or for like things that symbolize spawn. Something like that. Like, do you have any ideas for that? Like, which one's deeper into the Nether and which one's back to the overworld type of symbols or something. You know, I'm a sucker for banners. I'm especially a sucker for, you know, like fun banner. I'm the one who usually comes up with, or well, Googles for our banner designs for stream days. So I would absolutely love to see some ideas. But I think that that is going to have to do it for today. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming and hanging out. If you had as much fun as I did, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for all the feedback so far from last episode about who to hire up for the shopping district portal. I'm very excited to poke some people about it. I hope you'll consider giving me some feedback today on both the banners and on whether the simple redstone tutorial thingy is something that you would actually really like to see. Thanks again and take care, everybody. Toodles!